Hollis, Queens in the building. San Antonio, Texas, Dateline. Stephen A., we're both men of a certain age. Could kind of remember the last one for the Knicks, but we're both little kids. We're now grown men. You're from New York. They just did it. New York Knicks are champions of the world. Your emotions you're processing right now are what?
I never believed it would happen, Scott. I was born in the Bronx, raised in Hollis, Queens since I was 1 year old. All I've ever known was the Knicks. My dad was a huge baseball fan, so we knew the Yankees as a result of that and what have you. But basketball was my first love. The New York Knicks were my love. And I didn't know anything about them when I was 2 years old or when I was 5 years old and they won the championship. Back then, I saw my father watching it, but I didn't know. And I waited since 1973 for this moment to happen. And so many moments came by. Those years when Pat Riley was running the show and Patrick Ewing was your star, when Dave Checketts was running Madison Square Garden and Ernie Grunfeld was the GM, and they lied to New Yorkers so beautifully. It wasn't their fault, but they had thoroughly convinced us that the New York Knicks were going to find a way to upend Jordan, and then Jordan ruined our hopes time and time again. Reggie Miller ruined our hopes. Then purgatory kicked in. And then after purgatory kicked in, you see stuff like, oh, my goodness, the Charles Smith and the 4 layups. Actually, that came before the purgatory. And the Patrick Ewing finger roll that wasn't. And that came before the purgatory. And then after that, you know how bad it had gotten. And then I remember Steph Curry going with the number 7 overall pick, and we had the 8th pick. I remember Zion Williamson and John Morant going 1 and 2 in the draft, and we had the 3rd pick. We couldn't get anything right. I mean, we were can't get right. That was our name, can't get right. It was just that damn bad. And you get to a point where you're just miserable and you believe that somehow, some way, you'll never be able to win. You'll never be able to get it done. And then this year happened. And before this year started, I'm like, they're going to go to the finals. Why? Because Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. Damian Lillard tore his Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles. Oh, they're going to get there by default, but can they beat OKC? And then all of a sudden, Wembanyama comes, and you're like, damn, it's a 7'5" alien for Fred. Damn, if it ain't OKC, it's going to be them. Can we catch a break? My God, can we catch a break? And then the New York Knicks, Atlanta Hawks, went up 2-1, and the New York Knicks took it from there. And then they blitzed them, blew them out by 50, and then they swept the Sixers, and then they swept Cleveland. And then I said, but the alien's waiting, but there's something different in the air. I'm going to pick the Knicks in 6. And then they won game 1. All right, we got home court advantage. And then they won game 2. And I said, yo, they ain't coming back. And then they messed up game 3, and they were down by 29 in game 4. And the depression kicked in where I was planning on therapy. I'm not lying. I'm not lying to you. And then they came back from that. And we here now. I can't believe it. I've been at ESPN for years. It's been an incredible honor working for this network. But no night is greater than tonight. This is the greatest night of my career. I'm here in attendance, and a 53-year drought has come to an end. My team is no longer associated with the Dallas Cowboys. My team just gets to play and to be champions, to hear New York Knicks NBA champions. I never thought it would happen, Scott. I never thought. I guess I'm too cool or whatever, but I damn near cried. I really did. I damn near cried, but I held it back. I can't believe this moment is here. I can't.
Why hold back anything, man? There's no reason.
I shed a tear. I ain't gonna lie. I shed a tear in the back. I did. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it, man. This is the greatest moment I've had in my career, and the fact that ABC and ESPN is carrying it, and I work for this network, and to be here.
Cedric Perkins is alongside. My favorite ad about the Stanley Cup's called No Words, and it shows a guy when they get the Stanley Cup and they try to describe it and they just can't put it into words. I think Brunson's performance, we can find the words for it. And as a guy who pours a ton into his kids, I'm happy for Rick, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Those videos of those two in the
Beautiful
in the park,
Scott.
in the driveway,
Yeah,
when he's
man.
Shooting those little guy lefty jumpers. Now he's out there, still a little dude, hanging 15 in the fourth on a 45-point night. This is big body at his finest. How do you describe what he did?
Well, tonight, first of all, kudos and shout out to the whole entire Knicks organization. Mike Brown, his teammates. But, Scott, do you realize we just witnessed individual greatness?
Yeah.
Tonight, Jalen Brunson submitted himself as the greatest Knick ever. Tonight, Jalen Brunson submitted himself in the top 75 greatest players of all time list. When you talk about the story, when you talk about him being counted out, the scrutiny that he's been under for as being a small guard, it's been crazy.
Listen, when they missed on Donovan Mitchell, and they paid him, I thought, hand up here, I thought, well, they just had a bunch of money. They had to get somebody. And it seemed like a lot of money for a guy I thought, Perk, was a number 2, which he was in Dallas. I didn't know he could be this. I didn't know.
Well, I did, Scott, because he's been a winner his entire life.
That's fair.
He's one of the greatest winners we've ever seen.
That's fair, too.
I talked to Jay Wright
there you go.
After Game 4, and he told me, he said, Perk, you know what made me believe in Jalen Brunson to bring him to Villanova? I went down to Chicago in the state championship game, and I watched the arena of 4,000 people, and all of them was against him. And he hanged a 50-piece plus wing dinner on them. Delivered all flats and delivered a championship. And then he won at a high level and won a championship at Villanova. On top of that, was disrespected in the NBA draft during that time. He was drafted in the second round, which, by the way, he joined the company of Jokic, Dennis Smith, and also Willis Reed for second-round players to win Finals MVP. And here's the icing on the cake, Scott. He joined the elite company tonight. Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas, players under 6'2", to lead their team to an NBA championship and win Finals MVP. And I've been preaching to the world when I gave him the nickname Big Body Brunson, and I was called everything but a child of God, that I said this man is different. He's special. And he showed throughout these playoffs and throughout these series. Think about Game 1, 13 points in the fourth quarter on the road to secure the victory.
Over and over.
Over and over. After Game 3, remember, a lot of scrutiny. He's ball hogging. The analytics say that the Knicks are better without him, better offensively with him on the bench.
Right.
And for him to pass the ball. What did he do in Game 4? Was the ultimate floor general while leading the charge offensively, while carrying the team alongside OG Anunoby. And then what was the narrative after that game? Should Jalen Brunson be the Finals MVP or should it be OG Anunoby? And then tonight, on the road, on a big stage, he go out and he have 45 points time Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
45.
Listen,
yeah.
Jalen Brunson, now in New York, when you mention Joe Namath, when you mention Derek Jeter, you're going to mention Jalen Brunson.
Look, he's an all-time New York hero because he got them back for the first time since '73. They had to go through an awfully talented, very young San Antonio team. Victor Wembanyama, after coming up short in
Politicians smiling while the city burns slow. Fake love on TV, but the streets all cold. Young boys lose dreams trying to chase bankrolls. Cops at the corner, but corruption still grows. Mama said pray, but the lights went out. No food in the crib, hear the babies cry loud. Everybody scared, nobody speak proud. Cause the wrong words now get you dragged from the crowd. Look, hospitals broken, schools got dust. Rich men stealing while they tell us trust. Every election just another setup. Same old devil in a brand new tux. And they wonder why the people so mad, why the youth all angry, hearts full of black. We ain't born violent, the system made that. Every broken promise turned pain into rap. This a corrupt kingdom, money over people. Truth gets buried when the lies look legal. Kids starving outside while they feast in cathedrals. We screaming for freedom, but they treat us like evil. Hands in the sky, can you hear our pain? Broken roads, broken hearts, pouring acid rain. They sold the soul of the nation for a little gold chain. Now the whole damn country drowning in shame. How many mothers gotta bury sons? How many tears gotta fall till it's done? You can silence one voice, not everyone. Fire in the streets when the pressure come.